Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, hola, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ken at 10. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. If you've just come for the first time, thank you for joining us. You're always welcome. And if you're coming back once again, then welcome back to another Ken at 10. We're here every day broadcasting all things about UK property, checking out all of the headline news for you every day from all of the newspapers and beyond, and telling you about what's going on with our little estate agency business. We are James Alexander, and we're based in Norbury, SW16. We sell, let and manage properties both locally and across London, and like to talk to you about what we're doing and what's going on with the market. How are you? Hope you're well. Today's a Thursday, big admin day for us on a Thursday. We're making sure we're ready for the big push for tomorrow, for the weekend and viewings and things, and lots of hot new instructions on this week as well. So we're quite busy. Also, we are the top, as I think we mentioned this week, that you may have heard that we are actually the number one according to Rightmove in our area for sales, but also most importantly for customer service. You know, we won the Gold Award for the All Agents site, and one of the most important things to me is not that we necessarily sell the most properties, although that's wonderful, but it's actually that we give the best possible service. And if that means selling fewer but giving a high quality service to our customers, I'm actually happy with that. But luckily at the moment we seem to be doing both, so we're very delighted. And today I have a live interview with Janet Royal. Janet Royal is almost regal. She's certainly very important. Why is she very important? Because she is running the Liberty Food Bank here in Norbury, helping those that are struggling to help themselves. And she's a lovely person. She's running an appeal to get money. You've probably heard us talking about it many times. And we are now over the 2,000. We're over 70% of the way there, but we're not quite close enough. So we'd be really, really grateful if you could help us. The URL is on the screen now. We will be scrolling that across the screen at 11 o'clock when Janet is live with us and talking all about what's going on with the food bank and how the appeal is going so far, and hopefully appealing to your heartstrings, pulling your heartstrings and making you part with maybe a pound, maybe £2 or £3, maybe £20, maybe 200. It depends what you can afford. Doesn't matter what it is. It's the gesture that's important. If you could just make that gesture and like and share on your social media, then that will help us to help others that are struggling to help themselves. And at this time of year, it's more critical than ever, I feel. Lift someone's spirits. And, you know, nothing better than that, especially for local people here in Norbury. So the headlines today, first of all, one from the Evening Standard: London house prices are forecast to rise 25% by 2026. Well, if you think about it, we're not that far away now. We're only literally 1 month away from Christmas today. Wow, that's scary, isn't it? By the way, if you're wondering why there's a beach behind me, it's because it's cold outside. And I thought, I want a beach. I want to see sunshine. I want warm weather. I want to swim in that sea. I know it seems odd because I've got a swivel chair sat here on the beach. So sorry about that, but I promise you I will go for a swim with my suit on directly after this. Now, onto the headlines. London house prices to rise 25% by 2026. If you think about it, we're nearly in 2022 now. Very close, in fact. So, you know, it's not that long away. We're only looking at 4 years they're talking about. And this is a study from the group JLL. And it indicates the increased demand to live in the capital after the pandemic, combined with the return of overseas buyers, will boost the London housing market. Specifically, we're talking about here. JLL predicts London prices will rise by 24.5% by 2026, outpacing national house price growth of 20% over the same period. There is a bounce back in urban demand in London as people once again reset priorities around where they want to live and opt to stay and move within the city rather than leaving. That's certainly our experience, that things are returning to a level of normality, at least here. And this is from Nick Whitten, the head of research for JLL. He says, in particular, we're seeing people buying those neighbourhoods which have a village feel, as have a balanced convenience transport with space and greenery, he feels. Well, we can't quite claim to be a village here in Norbury, but we are a fantastic area with a great mix of people, some of the best people in the world, actually, I would argue. Certainly some of my great friends are here or lived here or are our landlords or our vendors. So, yeah, do consider Norbury. We are urban rather than suburban, but we are a zone 3 commuter area full of lovely people and a great place to live and work. Now, the outer suburbs are gaining popularity among Londoners. This really echoes the last report, and again it's in the Evening Standard, and it's from Hamptons International this time, and it says research reveals that 15 London suburbs where the number of new buyers registering is up year on year, and it includes Barking, who knew, with 110% increase, in Woolwich, can understand that a little bit more, up 74%. 20 years of London house price growth have pushed more recent buyers into new neighbourhoods, says David Fowler, senior analyst at Hamptons. Well, it was ever thus, really. I mean, people have always been pushed into new territory. As the market pushes here in London and things get more expensive, what we find is that the super rich buy in central London, right? was ever thus and will always be that way, because we are one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And that pushes the rich to the outer reaches of London, so that instead of affording Mayfair, they can maybe only afford Chelsea or Fulham, or going even further south to maybe Putney, and then coming out to Wimbledon, and then of course coming out for the rest of us in the real world that can't quite afford those prices, coming out to the commuter land such as the Zone 3 areas like Norbury. He says buyers looking for a family home in their second or third move are heading for more affordable areas of outer London. It's entrenched by the pandemic. It's kind of what they said in the last article, really, isn't it? Equity release is on the rise. Well, that's no surprise. The amount of equity that's grown in the past year or two. New figures reveal that homeowners in England and Wales are releasing on average £72,988 worth of capital from their homes via equity release. This release is an increase. This represents an increase of 14,000 over 5 years, and 1 in 7 people over 50 say they will either use their equity release after they retired or raise money from the property by downsizing instead. More than 20,000 homeowners over 55 unlocked £1.17 billion worth of property wealth between April and June, according to the Equity Release Council. Well, that's interesting that people are unlocking capital in that way. But of course, the problem with unlocking capital in that way is it doesn't free up the residential property that the young people need. What we really need is an incentive for older people to move by removing stamp duty for them. That's what I think. So that when they move, they don't look at it and say, well, by the time we've moved and paid stamp duty, and then we're in a smaller place, the difference for us by the time we've got costs and hassle and stress is not worth, the juice isn't worth a squeeze, if you will. So what we need to do is incentivize those people to move out of those big homes that they're rattling around in, because it's up to them, They're their homes and they'll do whatever they want, and right and proper too. That's why they bought a home in the first place, because they want to be the king of their castle. And why shouldn't they rattle around in a bigger house? I think there's no reason why not. But actually, if we incentivize them, then you may find that many of them take the opportunity to move to something smaller, then freeing up that house for that young family. And the families need them, because you know what? They're just not building enough homes. Still, we've said it time and time again, but still today we have the same issue. Lidl are building more stores, according to the Times, Telegraph and the Guardian. It's going to increase it by 2025 from the 880, creating 4,000 new jobs. They're going to have 1,100 stores. Well, they have become the sort of, the new normal, Lidl, haven't they? It wasn't that long ago we didn't know who they were. I never know. I look at Aldi and Lidl. They're the same to me. I always think, I'll call them Aldiddle, because it's kind of the same thing to me. There's a 20 million funding stream for tidal energy. I like a bit of the old green projects, and Boris Johnson has confirmed that they're providing 20 million for tidal stream industries in Scotland. Now, the interesting thing about tidal power is that it's almost guaranteed, because you don't have to worry about whether the wind is blowing or whether the sun is out. The tide will always come, according to the gravity. Gravity will always be there, so you'll always have that power. So it's interesting, because I do think that's probably an underused resource, and hope that we can see that gets closer towards a zero carbon future. And leaseholds. Now, a new study has revealed the mental health impact of the cladding scandal, and this is in the Times and the Yorkshire Post. A new study by the University of Sheffield has revealed the impact of cladding and building safety scandal on leasehold apartment owners. It has been terrible, hasn't it? We've seen suicides. It's really shocking and awful. My heart goes out to you if you're in this position. It says the ongoing fear of fire, sky-high costs for insurance, and building freeholders, presenting them with bills to correct safety defects, has taken a huge toll on leaseholders' mental health and well-being. The study found that the threat of financial ruin now outweighed a risk of fire for many still living in unsafe conditions. Wow. Think about that. They're more worried about the money than they are of actually dying in a fire. That's how sad it is. That's awful. Many leasehold apartment owners report putting off life events such as retirement and starting a family, or being unable to move. Leaseholders were fearful for their financial futures, and without remediation works being undertaken, many had seen increases in day-to-day costs such as insurance premium. And they say it's all sorted out and they've got this big fund allocated, but there are many, many people that have already paid out vast sums of money, or don't quite qualify, or for one reason or another hasn't quite worked out for them. So, it can be a real frustration. Weather here in Norbury, by the way, it's bright. There's a slight breeze, but it's a beautiful autumnal day. There's still some leaves on the trees around, but it's nice to see the colours, isn't it? I love the colours of this time of year. They're so beautiful, the reds and the greens and the falling leaves and everything. Soon we're going to hit the cold spell, though. That's coming very soon. We're looking at next week, apparently. We're going to have a cold snap. We'll see. Gosh, my anniversary next week. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition. Please do tune back in today at 11 a.m, where we're going to talk to Janet Royal about how we're doing with the Liberty Food Bank appeal, what's going to go on with your money, and how you can help us to help others in the local neighbourhood. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope you can join me at 11 a.m. live right here on the channel. Stay safe and well. Speak to you soon.